What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck Club. Damn it to that intro. Thank you, RTs, for that beautiful intro. Very creative, uh, and very informative. You guys see all the Latin in the background. So today I want to talk about the information that I promised you all from Mr. Adolphus Kindle. If you guys remember the last Thornton Township meeting that was held, the guy that Frank affectionately calls Cap Calloway, look like something like that. I call him Big Pippin, but his name is Adolphus Kindle. And I was on Alicia Nicole's live stream. You guys should check her out. Shout out to her. And she was streaming the meeting, and I asked a couple questions that she was able to ask him about the grant information, how to get budget reports, how to get some of the financials that are supposed to be a part of disclosures for these grants, because we all know that Super Stupid allowed, Siggy, aka Cleotis, aka fill in the blank, to practically abuse, and not just Siggy, also Rosie A. Henyard. You guys, recall the video that I did, the reporting on Rosie A. Henyard, who's also named in the FBI subpoena. Well, she was one of the directors of the youth prevention programs, and was also affiliated with this at-risk youth grant that the Thornton Township received for $500,000. The issue is they never kept up with any budgets, reports. They're given, every application has a budget report template. If you go on the Invest and Cook website, you look at the application packets, it has templates that are attached to it. A budget report template is attached to every application. And you must complete those budget reports according to Mr. Al Kindle, which is what I'm about to show you all in these text messages, because he wanted people to text him. So that's what I did. I tried to email him to have it more formal, but he wanted text messages. So, okay. But one of the things that he stated was that there were compliance. They have like their own compliance team, and they also have site monitors that are supposed to go out and monitor these sites that receive these grants. And the Invest and Cook is one of the largest grant programs or grants that's been awarded to them from other federal organizations and government entities as well. You're talking about millions of dollars. Tens of millions of dollars to hundreds of millions of dollars in grant money. And 500,000 goes towards Siggy, who put down a car wash address on the application, on the information. Knowing damn well, unless maybe he know someone that's there that would probably have overlooked this whole situation and not have looked at the documents and may have been paid, based on my opinion, to look away. But if you have a compliance team or a site monitor, one of the things that I brought up in the Rosie A. Henyard video, how could you overlook something so obvious and not do a Google search on the address? You would have seen that it belonged to a car wash. And because of that, the FBI had to subpoena the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, known as DCEO. They had to, and I showed the article on that in that video as well with Rosie Henry reporting. They had to subpoena a state agency to get information because Siggy put down a dumbass address to a car wash for a federal grant. You can't make this up. I still want that theme song. You can't make this up. It's insane. So one of the things that I wanted to try to do is to try to make sure that, I get information and share with you all in hopes that it, will empower you all to be able to see, hey, this is something that you will need to continue to look at and monitor moving forward, living in Thornton and Dolton, because all of this grant money is supposed to be going towards certain viable programs, whether it's to help the youth, whether it's going to schools, because the school systems are projected to get a sizable amount of money. from Invest in Cook County, that grant, um, where it's supposed to go towards. You would think that, this information here would be utilized to uh, make sure that you guys keep them accountable. And that's what the hopes of this is. That's the purpose of reaching out to our Kindle. I don't have to live somewhere in order to help get information that you all can utilize as residents there in Thornton Township to ensure that this money is going towards exactly what it needs to go towards. And bringing up the questions that I addressed to him, hopefully are questions that you all will continue to ask him when you see him, to say, we're looking for the financial disclosures. We're looking for the budget reports on this. How is this money being spent? How do we know that it's not being spent on everything else? He should not be telling you to go to the attorney general. The attorney general is a whole ass attorney who's supposed to be handling criminal cases. I don't know how. I mean, they can do a opinion binding letter, but should you have to do that? If you're asking someone that works with, the state to route you to where financial disclosures is supposed to be, and his response is contact the attorney general, I'm sorry, no. Maybe you should not be doing the job you're doing. That's not how that works. So it should not be something you have to FOIA. I asked for a link to take me to a website that will show me budget reports. It's that simple. You either have them or you don't. And because they've already had to, the FBI's already had to subpoena DCEO directly, it's a great chance that these records weren't being kept and might not still be kept to this very day. That's the problem. Tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars being still given out by the drone full. They're coming in drones, y'all. They're coming down in drones. But yet and still, no one is maintaining the finances and tracking the expenses on how the money is being spent on a budget template where all they had to do was fill in the blanks and put in the numbers. Keep the invoices. Simple stuff. If you set up services with a contractor, have an RFP. Have a contract. Make sure they're sending in invoices. Make sure those invoices get approved. It's that simple. If you don't know what to do, then that's where that site monitor or that compliance team that Mr. Kindle speaks of here comes into play. So let's get to it. I hope you guys can see my screen. I just want to make sure I'm okay. I want to make sure I'm not the biggest part of this. I want to be the little one. Okay. So let's get to this. This is how I want to say this is the first one. Can you all read this? I want to make sure I'm. Hold on 1 second. I'm just trying to make sure y'all can read this. Okay. Okay, this is the first message. It started out. I said, good evening, Mr. Kindle. This is Lady Luck Club inquiring about financial disclosures for the Invest in Cook grant program. I've done research on the grant, but can't find any expense reports that would be disclosure. Who is the financial manager of the grant? And I meant to say that can email me financial disclosures and reports. My email is LadyLuckClubLLC at yahoo.com, and feel free to email me the information. Thank you. So, let me go back to, I'm trying to go in order. I'm trying to go in order of how the messages went, right? So then he sends, where's that picture at? He sent me a picture. Oh, here we go. There we go. Mama didn't go back far enough. So as you all can see at the top, this is the first message I sent. This is his Texas phone number. It is 313-434-3851 is where he wants everyone to text him. So if you want to get information from him, he would rather you text him. He did respond. This was on Tuesday, March 25th. I sent this text to him at 7:59 p.m. during the Thornton Township meeting. And then on Wednesday, I think a little bit over after midnight, y'all can see down there at 12:13 a.m. Like it's, I'm like, why you texting me this late, bro? But 12:13 a.m. I just happened to be up. But boy, if I would have been asleep, that would have, child, I would have been so mad. So mad. But he texted me this picture. This first take at daybreak. On air live, Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. Tune in every third Sunday. Tune in every third Sunday. Every third Sunday. Y'all see that here. Oh, God. 7 to 8 a.m. 1 hour. You get 1 hour. So you better be ready to call by 6:58. You get 1 hour, Lord, on a Sunday morning. Early on a Sunday morning at that. Every third Sunday, once a month, between 7 and 8 a.m. Cook County Board President Report. Call/text Al Kindle. You see his number again, 313-434-3851 with questions. Want to be a guest on the show or need a proclamation? That would be a good way to proclaim that all budget reports related to grants should be put in writing and made available to the public. I mean, if I had to throw an idea out there on a proclamation, perhaps that should be one of them. WCPT 820. I don't know what that is. WCPT 820. So that's I guess it's a radio station. Heartlandsignal.com/WCPT 820. So that's his radio station or somebody's radio station, I guess. And then of course hold on. Let me go to, because my text out of order. Because I did ask, is this the... Y'all can see at the bottom. Anyway. Oh, is this the link? Moves out the way. Is this the link for the expenditures and budget reports? Heartlandsignal.com ... Is this where the financial disclosures are located? And then he says, I have to check. That was the next response. I have to check on that. Okay. So as you all can see, I'm just trying to get in from just give me the budget reports that you attach in as templates in those packets. That's what I want. Right? That you want to see how that money is being tracked and spent for each grant. So it should be an NOA, which is a notice of award. It should have that budget report template in it. You should be able to see invoices, receipts. If there are contracts with vendors, you should be able to see an RFP. You should be able to see a contract with that vendor and their invoices coming in, purchase orders, something to that extent. Related even to just that one grant, because you don't know what the grant is for. The grant could be to build a playground. So you're going to need contractors. You're going to need materials and resources. You're going to need people to oversee the budgets. You're going to need people that might have to go out and, put those RFPs together for bids to come in. Like it's so much that goes into some of these programs and contracts and stuff with these projects that you got to have at least, 2 or 3 people that can oversee what's going on with the money. That's why you have a finance and accounting team. Even if it's like a 1, 2, 3 person type team here, and then maybe one person to oversee and ensure that checks and balances are being done, it's still something you need to have in place. So his answer to this is I have to check on that. For Invest and Cook grant, each awardee, the municipality signs agreements and documents that must be verified upon completion. Verified completion. It's not a public process. I know it's not a public process, but there's a difference between it being a public process and being public disclosure. If a municipal government does not perform in accordance, I'm assuming he meant to say to the rules, they are put out of the program. Okay, so why was that grant that Siggy had, that $500,000 grant with the at-risk program? Yo, why wasn't he put out again? Or Rosie Henry, why wouldn't they put out? I'm confused. I don't understand. Why were they not put out? They should be put out, right? The moment it was discovered that financials after the first 30 days. In finance, you do what's called month-end budget reporting. That includes for grants as well. You get even bond, loan money. All that money has to be included. That's included in your budget. Has to be reconciled. You need to be able to know where you are with the spending. So typically you have what's called month-end reporting or month-end budgeting. When you're not at the 30 days, you're not seeing any receipts or invoices or anything coming out of this so-called at-risk youth program after 30 days, when it's time for month-end budgets to start, they should have been asking questions after the first 30 days. It should not have gone on for months or a year. It should have been after 30 days. Where's the budgets for this? Where are the invoices? Where are the receipts? How are you out spending this money? What the hell you been doing? Where's Siggy? So many questions should have been asked. Y'all, it's hot. And I'm drinking juice. The end. So, he says here, we have our own compliance department and site monitors. Okay. Great. I mean, where they at? Why are they not there to review the fact that Siggy used a car wash address? Did they look at anything? Did they see, oh, it's super stupid. Yeah, never mind. She's good. How did that go? Did they ever go out there? Is there a log that we can look up to see if the compliance department or site monitors went to Thornton Township and demanded to see information related to that at-risk youth prevention program with that $500,000 grant? How does anyone even know if they went out? The compliance department went out to verify to see what was going on. Or who are the site monitors? Better yet, name the site monitors. Who are they? I would love to know who your site monitors are. Who was out there monitoring the site because there's no way in the world, if they tried to go to the place where Siggy listed on that application about the youth and all this other stuff, they didn't go out to that site because they would have clearly seen it was a damn car wash. So who the hell are the site monitors? Okay, just keep reading. Just keep reading. Municipal presentations Monday, March 17th. As you guys can see, this was communication we did on March 25th. So he sent me information that was already kind of old. And then he stated, please see the below talking points, Justice Advisory Council. And I'm going to pull that text up in full. So this is that full text here. This is the whole thing. So the municipal presentations that was done on that Monday, March 17th, pointing out below the talking points from the Justice Advisory Council. They have a okay, so the application CST application deadline for CC-CVI and CC-SGV is due Monday, April 14th. So that's in 8 days. There was a virtual pre-submittal conference on Thursday, March 27th that was held. But mind you, I got this stuff on March 25th to March 26th, midnight of March 26th. So there was that virtual pre-submittal that was held on March 27th. But there is a deadline coming up on April 14th at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for those grants. And then you guys can see the link here, cookcountyil.gov/JAC grants. So you might want to go to that website, check it out, see what grants are going to be, applications are going to be submitted. And there should be NOAs, notice of awards, once they decide to award out the grants, and who they will be giving them to. This is where you start this accountability, the accountability train. This is where you get on. Once it is announced that who will be receiving the grants, then there you should be sure. Okay, you have the budget template reports. You have all the money in this pot. Now, as the money is being spent, there's an expectation to see invoices and receipts, to see these monthly budgets posted out, to see how the money is being spent, and to be able to say if there's a discrepancy or if they're just not posting out the information. That's where this compliance team and site monitors, who you need to find out who they are, come in handy. Because now the guidelines of the grant itself are not being followed or adhered to. You guys have to know this invest in Cook County, that money comes from federal grants as well, federal funding. The federal government does not like to just give out money. So when it gives you some money, bless God for it and do the right thing. The least you can do is make sure that the information is reported and that the disclosures that the public has the right to know is put out there. So it gives a lot of information here. I'm just going to scroll down so you all can just read it. Grant initiatives, overview, President Puerto Rico. I would suggest you all contact her as well. Go on that radio station. I'm not, because that's early. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Oh my God. I'm not doing that. I'm not waking up to do that. But you all should do that, because apparently there's no way that you'd be able to talk to him without having to text. All right, big pimping. This is the first Cook County. The first is the Cook County Community Violence and Intervention Grant Initiative. This will provide $20 million in funding for community-based services such as street outreach and case management to support residents most at risk of being involved in gun violence as a victim or perpetrator. $20 million. God, what I can do with $20 million. Lord, please bless me with $20 million. You know what? Not even gonna be greedy. I'll take $1 million. I'll take $1 million. Yep. Take a cool $1 million. I can do wonders with that. Don't even gotta worry about it. Just give me $1 million. Oh my God, $20 million. So the wraparound services for survivors of gun violence initiative will provide $10 million in funding. I'm just kind of skimming over this, so you all can see, this how much money is going out in these grants. Oh, this is a page of this stuff. So this was about 10:20 a.m. March 26th. He was still texting over information to me, because I guess he looked at my YouTube channel and was like, "She is not for play. She is not for play." Because I'm not. I am not for play. So, as you can see here, you have the application period for both opportunities open from March 17th through April 14th. So April 14th is just the deadline for those grants in general. And then it has the website here, the link you can go on to look at the information and to apply. Our participants will also benefit from a question and answer session on the funding opportunities to register for the pre-submittal conference that I think that I already passed March 27th, but they may have other pre-submittal conferences for each grant. So it just, this information, I suggest you guys just take a look at. If you want to go out and ask questions about how this money is going to be sent, who the site monitors are, who's the compliance team members are, or how often they're going to be going out to make sure that the measures in place for the grant itself is being upheld and kept properly. How to report, if something's not being done the right way, or if they're not giving over financial information, because, you shouldn't have a reason to not do that if you're doing the right thing, right? So if you have invoices and receipts and you filling out those budget reports, it's a template. I mean, good Lord, you could just do it on Excel. If you're doing all of that, it should not be an issue to have that disclosed to the public, so that people can see how this money is being spent, how government money is being spent. That stems ultimately from tax dollars, because that's how it's stem ultimately from tax dollars. Come on now, federal government does business with our money. We all know that. That's why tariffs hurt. Tariffs hurt. All right, moving on. Let's see here. There's another informational webinar number 2, Thursday, March 20th. That's already passed. There was a deadline of April 7th, which is tomorrow. Cook County is investing in $2 million in transformative community-led projects that leverage the arts to enhance the quality of life for suburban Cook County residents. So this is going to be $2 million here, and that is due tomorrow. Tomorrow. So thank goodness I'm finally getting to this here. And this is still part of that grant for the arts, $2 million. So deadline for that is tomorrow. If you want to get in on that, I suggest you go on the website and apply. And that is due. It's $2 million for the arts. This is for like art murals and public art, community gardens, cultural planning, convening neighborhood gateways, reimagined public spaces, commercial corridor improvements, creative asset mapping, new cultural facilities. So, if it's something like to that extent that interests you, and you're an organization, you want to get, some grant money to do the right thing and to do exactly what the grant says you should be doing with it, then you got to apply by tomorrow. There it is. Let's see here. We have the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, the partnership 8th Annual Hospitality Hire Chicago 2025. Partnership production, the partnership event sponsors will host this in-person hiring event. So if you need a job, there's a hiring event on Tuesday, April 15th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Palmer House Hilton Hotel. There you go. Go get a job. Working is good for you. I still have a regular 9 to 5. So anybody talking about me figuring out life, child, please, I have a job and children. Life. Oh, and I'm a YouTuber. So job, YouTuber, children, life. Oh, that's funny. I think I need a life. From those who lose. Losers talking about get a life. Yeah, it's funny. All right. Let's see here. All right. So you guys can see here. I'm not going to read them all. But this is some helpful information. A lot of deadlines coming up. April 15th. There's the in-person hiring event. So the Department of Environment and Sustainability. Here's solar panels he was speaking of in one of the meetings. And you guys can see Dolphins Kindle at the bottom. We see you coming, Big Pimpin'. Kathleen Agassi. I'm not gonna butcher her last name, but Cook County Sun and Save solar panels installation program for suburban residents at no cost for income qualified homeowners. Program is currently open to homeowners of single family and small multifamily residences of 4 units or less. So you guys want to reach out to him on that. I would try to at least get some sort of documentation to make sure it's not like something weird going on with that, because a lot of corruption happening here, and you just want to be on the up and up. You just want to have some documentation. Who's coming out to do this installation? Can we get business cards? Can we know the name of the people? We need to know, because we don't want to get caught up in anything if they get charged. We ain't got time for that. So Get the information from those people before they come step foot into your house. How about that? So I think I'm gonna go back to the main text because as you all can see, I broke out some of these texts. So after he sent all that grant information, and then I said, "Good afternoon." Once the grants were awarded, now I'm gonna go because I expanded that text. Here it is. So I said, "Good afternoon." Once the grants are awarded, so you all can see, I'm still learning how to work this. This StreamYard thing. All right. Once the grants are awarded, the budgets for the expenditure should be attached to the NOA. Are you stating that each municipality will have the budget forms as the budgets are updated on their website? Will those financials not be posted under the Cook County website for the grants? I see the budget templates because I found the budget templates, but I want to make sure that the financial disclosures are posted on the same link for Cook County grants to see the expenditures charged against the budget for each specific grant. So basically, my question was, if I go on this link, am I going to find the budget reports under each grant that's there? You can go and search for a specific grant. If you have the grant ID number or the grant name, you can look at the grant, and then you click on that link, and then it pulls up information about this specific grant. My question was, am I going to be able to see the budget report, in the NOA, the expenditures related to this grant when I click on that specific grant link on the website? Do I have to do it on Cook County's website or the municipality's website where this grant is being awarded to? So if with the youth program, the at-risk youth grant for $500,000 that went to Thornton Township, if you go on Thornton Township's website, from what I read on his response, it sounds to me as if Thornton Township should be housing that information for that particular grant. Go on Thornton Township's website, though. I don't see any information for that grant because guess what? It didn't exist. And why is that, Lady Luck? Because the FBI had to subpoena DCEO to get information for that grant, for that at-risk youth grant that was awarded to Thornton Township. The FBI wanted to get the grant information from Thornton Township, but because they didn't have any information, no one kept up with the financials. No one kept up with any reports or budget templates or anything. They had to then subpoena the information, whatever is available, with the Illinois DCEO agency. So when the information is not available to the municipality, what's the backup plan? Where do you go to get this stuff if you can't see it on the municipality website? Because that is the case of what happened with the at-risk program with Siggy and with Super Stupid. It wasn't there on Thornton Township's website. And she damn sure was not going to make him post up financial disclosures to see where that $500,000 was being spent, or Rosie A. Henry. Neither one of them kept up with that. She was supposed to be the youth prevention director of some sort. He was supposed to be the director over that particular grant. Neither one of them put up any information for that grant. How did that $500,000 get spent? That's not something that was readily available on the municipality website. And I know Al Kindle knows that. He has to know that. So to say you're giving me these standard answers, and I just, by this point, was just irritated. Because I was like, now I know he knows that Thornton Township did not have any information on that grant. And it was just for $500,000. Imagine if it was like $10 million. Or even $2 million. You're talking about $500,000. That's still a lot of money. Boy, the things I can do with $500,000, Lord. Please, Lord, bless me with $500,000. All right. But the things that can be done with that, and not to have not one receipt or invoice to show how it was spent. The last thing you want to do is give some standard answer on what should be done, but not be realistic in saying, here's what we're going to do because of what's happened in the past. So this is where you all as the residents come into play to say, listen, Kindle, Big Pimpin', Cab Calloway, we don't have time for this. You are already aware that Siggy was not maintaining the grant information or receipts or expenditures or anything related to the at-risk program. That was $500,000 that's just gone up in smoke. And for them to not think that they had to keep records is baffling to me. And yes, Super Stupid has not only had a history of locking people out of financial systems, but also has a history of spearheading people from releasing FOIA information because she doesn't want people to know what the hell she's doing with the money. And that goes the same with this grant. She put Siggy in charge of it, and he put down a car wash address. She didn't even try to come to him and say, Siggy, look, that's so dumb. Don't put down a car wash address. Go get a real building. Nope, too much like right. So now that we all know you can't get information from the municipality website, will it be posted under the Cook County website? And who are the site monitors and the compliance team? Let these be questions you ask him every single time you see him until he gives you a real viable answer that makes sense. These are the questions you ask. And he knows if you guys are asking him those types of questions, he's going to come back to me with it. Because I'm giving you all the information and helping you all to know what to ask. So, of course, Mr. Al Kindle, Big Pimpin', yes, I'm instructing them to know what to ask you. People are tired of money being spent that's supposed to go towards their community. And it's just being blown in the wind or smoked away by Siggy. I mean, the cigarettes in the world, Siggy. Here is, after I sent that text, here is the response. Who child? He sent back. He said, to my understanding, they are not. But you can attend the sessions and ask those questions. I shouldn't have to. It's called financial disclosures. It should be posted. I'm asking you the questions. You're over these grants for Cook County. You work for the Cook County Board President, Terry Prewinkle. Yeah, one day I'm going to get it right. But you're the one promoting these grants at these meetings. So no, I'm not asking anyone else. I'm asking you who are promoting these grants. And I'm not in Illinois. So no, I'm not going to be attending a session. This is information that I want the residents to be empowered to know so that they now can know what to ask when it comes to this. Because it's not just the budgets of Thornton Township of Dolton that you should question. It's the grant money. It's the bonds. It's the loans. It's all of the funding that comes into these municipalities that you need to ask, how is this being spent and maintained? So, nope, didn't do me any good to here and attend the session when the person that should be asked these questions I'm asking to, and this is your answer, and I'm greatly disappointed. It's annoying. So it's very annoying. Or send an email to those over the grants in question to specifically answer your question. Who's over the grants? I already asked for that. Who over the grants? I literally said that in one of my earlier questions. Who is the financial manager for the grants? And he sent me the picture with a radio show. Stop tap dancing around me, bro. Stop doing that. It's annoying. Please don't do that because I know better. You tap dancing around the subject, and no one likes that. Just be very straightforward and forthcoming. If you don't know right then and now, take that hat off and that 3-piece suit down, that jacket off, and sit down and say, I'm going to help try to find some information for you all right now while we're here. That's it. Don't divert it off to someone else. You're the person that asks. You're the man of the hour, Big Pimpin'. So we come to you and we ask you the questions. So whoever is over the grants, if it's not you, I mean, of course, you're not over every single grant. But you're the one that's going out promoting these grants. So you're the first person to start with. The next thing should be, here's a list of names of the people over the grants, or here's a list of names of the compliance team. Also, here's a list of names of the site monitors. See how that goes? See, you're providing some information to help us to kind of move along in the path. Helps better than you sending information that puts us in circles. We're not moving forward. We're just going around in circles. I'm not doing that with you. Our goal at this moment is getting the word out, finding qualifying groups to apply, screening and delivery of high quality services to residents based on the statutory requirements. We follow the rules. We have a time limit to spend and get on the street. I'm sure you do. I said, understood. I will send a follow-up email as well. These are questions I'm asking to confirm where I should anticipate the budget reports to be posted for accessibility when I'm ready to review. Thank you. Because that's all it is. I need the financial disclosures. He said, thank you again for your interest, concern, and follow-up. Yeah. All of that still get to this point. So, trying to make sure I covered everything. Yeah, that was the end of it. Yep, that was the end of it. I just telling me you follow the statutory requirements is a joke, because the FBI would not have had to subpoena Illinois DCEO about one of the grants that you knew was awarded to Thornton Township under Super Stupid that was spearheaded by Siggy under a youth prevention director, Rosie A. Henyard, who was a relative. All that nepotism going on. We haven't even gotten to Tamika Henyard yet. She's still on the FBI subpoena. She was listening. There's information to report on with her as well. But yet, you couldn't keep up with that $500,000 grant. What is that? A write-off? This is where accountability comes into play. Hold those accountable. They didn't do the right thing. They didn't follow the procedures. They did not go along the measures and do what they were supposed to do. So now you have to hold them accountable. Now you have to say, nah, this is not going to fly. So now we're going to put you all under investigation. DCEO should have already put them under investigation. The compliance team, the site monitors, all of them should be questioned, heavily questioned. It should be a thorough examination. It should be, we need to know what happened with this money. Who did it go to? How much did they get? We want to see paycheck stubs. We want to see it all. Whatever the FBI want to see, we're asking for it now as well. I mean, DCEO is a state government agency, so they have, an investigative unit that will investigate these types of, unethical practices, especially when they weren't following the guidelines of the requirements for the grant. They didn't get kicked off either. The money was spent with a car wash address on it. All right, that's all I got with this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because to me, I'm just kind of like, it might not be as exciting and exuberant, but this is part of the problem of the corruption that's going on and how people are able to just spend money and do whatever they want to do without any recourse or repercussions. And even to say that they follow the statutory requirements, they follow the rules. Well, you didn't. The rules clearly were not followed. When the FBI has to subpoena a state agency to get information that should have been housed with Thornton Township, the municipality that it was awarded to, based on your text message, Big Pimpin'. So there you go. You guys make sure that you hold your leaders accountable. And you got new leadership coming in. Continue to hold them accountable. It is not the job of YouTubers to hold them accountable. It's the job of the residents to do that. We can report on what's going on. But us holding them accountable, that's for you all to do. Now, if you just don't care, just say that. Just say you don't care. But some of us will be still reporting on this. I'm reporting on Super Stupid until she goes to prison. She was my target. She was my focus of concern. Not everything else going on outside of it. Things that might be connected to her and things that are just of great significance that people need to know. Yes. My purpose, my goal objection was reporting on her to make sure she got the hell on. That's why cornmeal was always a chicken head to me. Was never significant. And she will not be at all. Still. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. You guys make sure you leave your comments below. If you want me to repost any of the text messages up, just send a comment and I'll make a post on my channel so y'all can be able to read it. This is something else. Yeah, I just, Big Pimpin'. All right, Big Pimpin'. You guys take care. I have another video coming up that I believe you guys are going to know. Actually, I think I'm going to do it a live stream. So yeah, you guys just stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for the video that I'm going to finish up on Judge Shamila Williams, who's a judge here in Fulton County. God, 15 charges. The judge is facing 15 charges. She needs to be removed from the bench. Period. But all right, that's all I got. To the next one. Lady Luck Club out. Lady Luck Club out. Ooh, I'm tired. Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.